Hey, Livis. Hope you're doing well. For my final project, I decided to do LeBron James and his ESPN TV special titled The Decision. Um, so, to give you a little background on The Decision, this TV special is when LeBron James decided to leave the Cleveland Cavaliers on July 8th, 2010, and join Chris Bosh, who also left the Toronto Raptors, create the first modern day super team, which I'll get more into here in a little while. I found it very interesting that James was the first ex MVP to voluntarily change teams in his prime since Moses Malone made the decision to join the Philadelphia 76ers in 1982. And LeBron broadcasted his decision live on ESPN as a TV special titled The Decision. So I'd like to show you just two short videos. The first is the actual ESPN TV special. And so next we have his flashy entrance with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. And looking back on it, you should have definitely entered our last class in the same fashion. But yeah, so to give you, just a brief background on LeBron James, even though I'm sure you don't need one, he was the number one overall pick in 2003 by the Cleveland Cavaliers. He was drafted straight out of high school from St. Vincent, St. Mary High School, where he's a Gatorade All-American. One was a MVP of the McDonald's All-American game, and also was the MVP of the Jordan Brand Classic. Over the course of his 15 years in the league, he has now been 14-time All-Star, 3-time NBA champion, two of which were with the Miami Heat, and one was 2 years ago at the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's been a 4-time MVP. He's been named All NBA 13 times, and he's been named to the All Defensive Team 6 times. And here's just a short video of LeBron James here in his 15th season. And then here's just a brief background of the NBA. So it was founded in 1946 in New York City. It's composed of 30 teams split evenly into the Eastern and Western conferences. The current commissioner is Adam Silver. The league has an 82-game regular season, and Golden State is the most recent NBA champions as they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers last season. So here's just a brief background on the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Miami Heat. So the Cavs were founded in 1970. Their current head coach is Tyronn Lue. Their owner is Dan Gilbert. They now have won one championship thanks to LeBron 2 seasons ago, overcoming a 3-1 deficit against the Golden State Warriors. And their head sponsor is Goodyear. And now with the Miami Heat, they were founded in 1988. Their head coach is Eric Spoelstra. Their president is Pat Riley, who's very outspoken. They have won 3 championships. One was in 2006 with Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal, and the other 2 came in the 4-year span that LeBron, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade were together. And lastly, their main sponsor is Ultimate Software. So here's just the aftermath. Here's some fan reactions after LeBron made his decision to quote unquote abandon the Cleveland Cavaliers. Throughout this video, you can clearly see how upset the fans are. Yeah, so as you can see, they were clearly disappointed for many reasons. As one of the guys pointed out, cheering for LeBron since high school. LeBron's from Akron, so a lot of his high school games would bring as much as 5,000 people in. When he was about to graduate high school, the Cleveland Cavaliers had the number 1 overall pick after having years and basically decades of struggles. So everyone's been really behind LeBron since high school. So here's kind of the ideas behind broadcasting it as a TV special for millions of people to view. So the idea was from a journalist named Jim Gray, who approached LeBron's agent Maverick Carter during the NBA Finals. Maverick Carter took an interest in Gray's idea because he saw it as an opportunity to raise money for charity. And ESPN donated all the advertising revenue to charity, which Nike then matched. And by broadcasting this decision, they were able to donate $2.5 million to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. So Maverick Carter not only thought of it as a massive TV special to bring in great ratings for ESPN, but they also saw the good of it as they were able to donate money. But in reality, it had very, very negative impacts on James' image. So the conventional public relations would dictate that LeBron had first informed the Cleveland Cavaliers out of respect and gratitude for the opportunity that the team has given him. Most people think that the entire thing was his idea and very egotistical. That he kind of kept them in the dark for many years. Dan Gilbert responded to LeBron's move to Miami and method of announcing it as shameful display of selfishness and betrayal by one of our very own, which is incredibly ironic as he accepted LeBron with very open arms again in 2014, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Mainly this started the trend of the LeBron fire, which a random newscaster actually started. But basically, it's the act of burning his jerseys and making videos out of it. So here's a short video of that. And this video just continues to burn jerseys and other paraphernalia of LeBron's. And so here's kind of what happened to the Cavs and Heat over the next 4 years. So the Cavs, in hopes to rebuild, they drafted Kyrie Irving, number 1 overall in 2011. In the 2009-2010 season 2008-2009, before LeBron left, they had a 60 win season. The year after LeBron left, they were only able to bring in 19 wins. And over that course from 2010 to 2014, they had a record of 97 and 215 and actually missed the playoffs all 4 years. But in 2014, they signed Kevin Love to entice James to return, which is incredibly fascinating because it was almost as if the Cavs were trying to create their own big three in Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, and LeBron James that the Heat had done with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade and LeBron himself. Throughout the years that LeBron was at the Heat, they won back-to-back championships in 2012 and 2013. As I mentioned, they created the first modern-day super team, which was kind of KD's rationale for joining the Warriors even after the Warriors beat them in the playoffs the year before, and many thought that KD was also a traitor for that decision. And then the Big Three finally broke up in 2014 when James returned home. So there's a lot of reasons why I think this is important. Not only the decision to broadcast LeBron's decision, but creating this modern day Big Three, super team has had a major effect on the NBA over the last several years. So each team today is now trying to create a super team of their own. You can see that with several teams across the league, with Oklahoma City Thunder, who brought in Paul George and Carmelo Anthony to join Russell Westbrook after KD left him. The Boston Celtics are trying to relive their glory days, and they have now brought in Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward to join Al Horford, and have now brought in major young superstars in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart. The Houston Rockets this year brought in Chris Paul so they were able to go toe-to-toe with the Golden State Warriors. And obviously the most clear and outright super team there is today is the Golden State Warriors with KD, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson. And so, I think LeBron set a strong precedent when it comes to these players' decisions to make during their free agencies. I don't think there's any longer this stigma, of judging these players to the point that, you're going to see a lot of the jersey burning and the hatred that LeBron received. A lot of these players are now almost viewed in a way that they're making a decision that's right for their career. And I think this concept of super teams is going to get even crazier this offseason. Once athletes like Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, King James, CP3, Boogie Cousins, DeAndre Jordan, and several others become free agents. There's already rumors of Paul George and LeBron linking up with the young studs in LA. There's rumors of the Celtics being able to clear cap space, as well as the Sixers being able to clear cap space for Kawhi Leonard. These super teams are only going to get stronger and stronger. And it was very interesting to find a lot of research on Kevin Durant and his decision to join the Golden State Warriors. And here's a quote by Howard Beck for Bleacher Report. He said, "Though Durant says he did not consider James as his precedent, he rarely admits that James paved the way for him and several other athletes to come." Another reason why I think it's important is there's a massive increase in the NBA's popularity. Its ratings on TNT are up 20% from last year. Its ratings on NBA TV, the league's cable channel, are up 20% as well. ESPN and ABC's NBA ratings are up. 17 out of the 30 teams have seen improvements in their local markets. Meanwhile, NFL football ratings are declining massively due to the issues with CTE and domestic abuse and violence. College football ratings are down, which I find very surprising. Baseball has obviously been struggling for decades now, and the most recent Winter Olympics were the least watched in history. And David Finch says the reason that people can get behind the NBA is it's a league that has liberated its game, liberated its players, and helped cultivate a free-willing, creative culture of broadcasters, pundits, and fans. And I think LeBron has a big impact on that, and I'll get into that right now. So this last year, ESPN released a top 25 for the most influential basketball players ever, and LeBron James came in at number 2, just behind Michael Jordan. Here's a few quotes from that article. He was far from the first high-profile athlete to speak out politically, but James's willingness to put his voice behind social causes has encouraged numerous athletes to follow. For example, in 2012, when LeBron James and Dwayne Wade organized the entire Heat team to pose for a team photo in hoodies following the death of Trayvon Martin, it's really changed the way NBA players use social media. You see LeBron now wearing equality shoes. He's now started the trend of, we won't shut up and dribble, and continues to make a massive social impact for young NBA players to come. And lastly, James has had such a dominant impact in the league. He's now the only player in NBA history to record at least 31,000 points, 8,000 rebounds, and 8,000 assists. And he's the only player in NBA history to average at least 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists for his career. And lastly, why I chose this case. I lived in Columbus, Ohio for 5 years when I was younger, and I had the honor of watching LeBron James play with my father. He would take me to several of the games. And, we had a great time together. And actually, this last Christmas, I was able to take him to Cavs-Hornets games where we were able to see LeBron play once again. Also, my other favorite player growing up was D. Wade. And so once I found out that, these two guys were uniting, I was extremely excited. I didn't feel as betrayed as others, but I guess that just makes me kind of a bandwagon fan, which I'm all right with. And lastly, I genuinely believe that James has impacted the league, more than anyone else ever has. As I mentioned, I think he's created a precedent for all players in regards to their free agency decisions that they can make, their lifestyle decisions that they can make. LeBron has never been in any sort of legal trouble. He married his high school sweetheart. He has, several children that he cares for. And I think LeBron James has been, the most impactful mentor that the league has seen. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it.